The senses. Chapter 31.4. Touch, temperature, pain. Our bodies have different receptors to respond to touch, temperature, and pain. The skin holds at least 7 types of sensory receptors. Different parts of the body are more and less sensitive to touch. For example, the skin on our fingertips has a much higher density of touch receptors than our back. There is a certain type of cell that responds to heat and cold, called thermoreceptors. Like usual, they are found throughout the skin, but they are also found in the hypothalamus to detect blood temperature. Pain receptors in the skin respond to physical injuries such as cuts. Tissues also contain pain receptors that respond to chemicals released during infection or inflammation. Fun fact, the brain does not have any pain receptors, which is why patients receiving brain surgery are often kept awake. Smell and taste. Your sense of taste and smell can actually detect chemicals. What are known as chemoreceptors are found in the nose and mouth. Furthermore, impulses sent to the brain by these receptors are actually the result of smell and taste sensations. Your sense of smell can produce thousands of different sensations. A lot of what we taste is actually produced by smell. The sense organ's taste buds are found on the tongue, but also in other parts of the mouth. For example, if you hold your nose and swallow something, you probably will not be able to taste it, or you may not be able to taste it as well as you usually can. Sensory cells and taste buds respond to salty, bitter, sweet, sour, and a new 5th sense. Umami is known as the new 5th kind of taste sensation. It is known as a savory sense and is strongly stimulated in Asian foods, but also in cheese, meats, and tomatoes. Hearing and movement. The human ear is made up of 2 sensory functions, hearing and detecting change in position. The type of receptor found in parts of the ear is called mechanoreceptors. The brain translates the impulses that are sent by these receptors into sound and information about balance. Sound is vibrations moving in the air around us. The ear's job is to distinguish pitch and loudness of these vibrations. How we receive sound. Vibrations enter the auditory canal and cause the eardrum to vibrate. The hammer, anvil, and stirrup transmit these vibrations to the oval window. From there, those vibrations create pressure waves in the fluid-filled cochlea. The hair cells within the cochlea send nerve impulses to the brain, which then processes them as sound. Equilibrium. Balance is detected by certain structures in your central nervous system. These structures are located within the ear above the cochlea. There are 3 small canals called semicircular canals. These canals and the 2 sacs behind them, the vestibular sacs, monitor the position of your body in relation to gravity. The sacs and semicircular canals are filled with fluid and lined with hair cells. When your head moves, so does the fluid, which causes the hair cells to bend. This movement sends impulses to the brain, which then determines body motion and position. Eye structure. The sclera, choroid, and retina make up the inner wall of the eyeball. Light enters the eye through the tough, transparent cornea. It then passes through a liquid-filled chamber called the aqueous. At the back of the aqueous is a disc-shaped iris, which is the colored part of the eye. Muscles in the iris adjust the pupil, a small opening in the middle of the iris, to regulate the amount of light that enters the eye. For example, for bright light, the pupil shrinks, allowing less light in. The lens is located behind the iris. Small muscles attached to the lens are used to adjust the shape, which helps the eye focus. Lastly, behind the lens is a chamber called the vitreous chamber. It is filled with a transparent, jelly-like fluid called vitreous humor. How we see. The receptors to detect light are found in the eye. Photoreceptors are used to send impulses to the brain, which then translates them into images. The lens focuses light onto the retina, which contains photoreceptors. These photoreceptors convert the light energy into nerve impulses, which are then sent to the brain through the optic nerve. There are no photoreceptors in the optic nerve, producing a blind spot. However, when the brain processes the image, it fills in the blind spots. Rods and cones are the 2 types of photoreceptors. Rods are extremely sensitive to light, however, they don't distinguish color. Rods only allow us to see black and white. Cones are less sensitive, however, they produce color vision. The way our brain processes and interprets visual information makes each image we see better quality and more detailed. If the brain was not involved, the eye would process images like a bad camera. Therefore, we would see low-quality images. Some fun facts. Your back is the least sensitive part of your body. You can smell about 10,000 odors. Females possess a better sense of smell than males. Your eyes can process 36,000 pieces of information per hour. Your eyes process about 24 million images in your life. The human eye only sees blue, red, and green. And lastly, your sense of touch gets worse as you age. Here are my citations. And that's it for the senses. Thank you.